Morph myself into a stalker.
It'd be cool to be a Reaper, but they have generally short lifespans. I think Missile Turret guy is he enjoys a good long life and a happy retirement.
Yeah, but what about circling run bites, man? You see like these little dogs biting your little Metro statue, which somehow falls down. Makes no sense.
You can't even shoot back at him?
No.
He's just like throwing the missiles out at the Zerglings. Yeah. They don't even blow up.
Like, bombs away!
Just like lands on a Zergling, like, pong!
Yeah, like if you throw a heavy missile on top of a Zergling, man, that should do some serious damage. We see TSL Polt being our blue Korean Terran on the right side of Odyssey. And aLive being our purple Terran on the left side of Odyssey. And Ben, talking about Odyssey, is there something else you want to talk about?
Yeah, it's worth noting. We Odyssey is a great map, a community-made map, but it's not a map that players get to see much of outside of their games, the North American Star League. No. And even within the North American Star League, it's not a map that's played very often. So we looked at Odyssey and some of the other maps that were not being played very much at the NASL, Shattered Temple and Tottering Altar, and we said, hey, you know what? Since the players aren't crazy about these maps, since they're not seeing a whole lot of gameplay, we're just going to remove them for the playoffs. So that means starting tomorrow, there will be no more Odyssey, no more Towering Altar, and no more Shattered Temple in the NASL map pool.
And instead, we decided to add Cloud Kingdom. And of course, guys, we did not make this decision on our own. Our league admin has sent out emails to all of the players, and they had a chance to give their opinion about their least favorite maps, and they were pretty much unanimous about Shattered Temple, Odyssey, and Tal'Darim being their least favorite maps. So I think we're doing all the players who are still going to be in the running band for those finals in Toronto and who are going to be at the finals in Toronto a huge favor. Yeah,
and it's always nice when you can sit down and just go to ladder and play on every map that you have the chance of seeing. So Cloud Kingdom being thrown in there is something that I think a lot of guys are going to welcome.
I'm sorry for all the Crevasse fans out there. I did my best. I really pushed for it, but
there are no Crevasse fans out there, Kevin. The only reason it was in that poll to begin with is because you're buddies with Rob Simpson and you told him how much you liked it, so he put it in the voting. I actually confirmed that with Rob. I was like, hey man, why was Crevasse even in that? He's like, I just know Roddy liked it a lot.
It's such a good map, man.
It's a terrible map.
No, it's not. You remember that game between Mondragon and Xerex? How awesome was that map?
It was a great game.
You know a map is great when you can counter Void Rays with roaches. Then a map is great.
This guy. Polt with a 1-Rax, expand into double gas. aLive this time is gone with a Tech Lab opening. And he's going to make some Reapers. How about that? My favorite unit.
Reapers
except for the Missile Turret guy. I don't actually know. I think the Reaper's my favorite unit, but the Missile Turret guy is the unit I would most like to be.
We see 2 additional Rexes going down for aLive. I'm curious to see, Ben, how many Reapers are we going to see? We see Strelok quite often opening up with 3 Reapers, and then he opens up sometimes with a Proxy Factory and a Starport, and then he also keeps rallying tanks from that Proxy Factory. And one guy was surprised I was not aware of that build. I don't know if you saw that comment, but that's not going to be the case this time in aLive. He's just going to research Stim straight after this first Reaper, which is going to get a great scout off. Ooh.
Yep, and here's the beauty of the build. It's Reaper expand, and the Reaper is almost always going to get a good scout off, and it will often do some bonus damage as well. 2 SCVs going to get picked off, and a third not going to fall. Run, Reaper! He does get away.
Reaper is indeed going to be alive. Nice micro by Polt, at least keeping that second SCV alive. Maybe in the start he could have been a little bit more careful with his SCVs, but it went reasonable for him. He's a little bit behind right now, as we can see in the work tab. He's down 2 workers, but that's no biggie. But more importantly, aLive got a very good scout up.
Yep.
He knows what he's facing.
Saw what's up, saw the fast command center, saw the gas, saw the tech lab being with the research going. aLive is in the know, man, and there's a couple of workers separating these 2 guys. There were a couple of workers that died, so Reaper does its job here on Odyssey.
Polt does have the better tech. We can see the Starport is already on the way. What I'm surprised at is that Polt still has that Orbital in his main. I was also, okay, there we go, he's floating it off right now. And I'm surprised by the amount of SCVs that aLive transferred to his natural.
Yeah, good point, Kev. But he's still maintaining saturation in the main base, so
barely.
I guess maybe he built just a few more than he needed. Of course, the thing that Kev's referencing is the whole concept of transferring workers to your expansions is one that was pretty popular in Brood War, but it's sort of not as fashionable, I guess, in StarCraft 2, because somebody sat down one day and studied and said, hey, do I earn more money when I transfer workers to my natural, or when I just fully saturate my main and then rally workers to my natural? And the answer to that question was you earn more money when you rally workers to your natural after you've fully saturated your main base.
And with fully saturated, we do not mean like the extreme saturate, try to get as money from your main base as possible, which is of course what you get with 24, but with 16, because with 16 you earn a lot more than 8, with 24 you earn a little bit more than with 16, but fully saturated is often comes down to 16.
Yeah, well, I guess with the word fully saturated, or the term, can be a little bit deceiving.
Yes, because there are ways to earn more money, but in the end you earn less money. Because you earn way more money if you have 16 and 16 instead of 24 and 8.
Bam. Perfect. Couldn't have said it any better. Right now, aLive working on some upgrades. Polt is also upgrading, but he's substantially behind aLive. His +1 a good minute or so slower. And that does open up a small timing for aLive. We'll see if he tries to do anything with it.
A lot of Marines heading out in the middle of the map. This drop ban I think is going to be doing quite some damage, since aLive really doesn't have a lot of units over here. The Marines that he does have, he just rallied down the ramp. This is going to be nice for Polt. Polt's going to stay in, picked off 1 SCV already. aLive knows he's going to be in a little bit of trouble, and he's evacuating immediately, but he's still losing a lot of SCVs. He left a few behind.
He is in full evac mode.
Wow.
Meanwhile, aLive's going to go and he's trying to hit a big +1 timing, and it's really up to Polt to try and catch this and deal with it. Wow, he's going to kill so many of the Marines.
So ridiculous.
Medevac is going to get picked off, and that means that Polt's going to lose this entire drop, but he's done good damage with it.
He did an insane amount of damage, and now aLive has to do damage as well. Polt is not siege. Siege is not ready yet, so aLive is going to do even more damage, I think, and this might actually be game over.
Yep, great great +1 timing here from Polt. I'm sorry, from aLive. Polt immediately GG's. Great little attack there. The drop from Polt did excellent damage. The attack from aLive won the game. So quick game 2 on Odyssey. And aLive.
The biggest problem was that the Marines went via the south side of the map, so Polt was completely unaware of this. Maybe you could have said that something should have triggered something, as in like, hey, why is my simple drop in this phase of the game doing insane amount of damage? When something like that happens, when people evacuate all workers immediately, 9 out of 10 times the army is actually on the map and not in the natural, because otherwise he's not going to pull all SCVs, he's not going to lose that many SCVs. No player on that level would handle a drop so poorly. So maybe when he did that damage, he should have maybe build a bunker.
I think the only thing that he could have done that would have changed the game would have been if he was like, oh crap, his army's not here, immediately lift and evacuate my natural. I really think that's the only way.
I was thinking about that too.
But that would have been the most superb read of a situation ever. And his siege mode was coming, so even with that army out on the map, he was probably thinking, okay, well, when siege is done, I'm safe. So I just have to survive that long. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. aLive evens up the series. Score is now 1-1. We're going to play a short commercial, and when we get back, game number 3, aLive versus Polt.